Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Located on the eastern coast of North America by the Atlantic Ocean and bordering the United States of America is the Islamic Sultanate of Qarsherskiy on the Virginia Peninsula. It's located in the Virginia Beach metropolitan area in a mostly wooded area between Yorktown and Newport News, two well-known cities on the Virginia Peninsula. We are only going to be talking about mainland Qarsherskiy today. No overseas territories or exclaves located outside the mainland. In red here, we can see Lake Qarsherskiy County, home to Lake Qarsherskiy, a lake that's made out of several connected ponds or basins. In between the different basins that make up the total of the lake, you can see there are strips of trees. This is higher, drier ground that separates Lake Qarsherskiy into several ponds, and in the shade of these trees on these strips of land is really fertile soil that often gets flooded due to being between all these lakes, and it's used to grow cool season vegetables like tomatoes, lettuce, and cucumber, since it's so shady and has lots of water. In orange, you see Qarsherskiy's capital city, Qarsherabad, which borders Lake Qarsherskiy County. Qarsherabad is home to about 8 houses, a bunch of sheds and buildings, as well as the royal palace and a bazaar, or basically an outdoor market. Here you see Kampin Pasha province, bordering the U.S. neighborhoods and a park in the USA, or what border it. It's mostly wooded and is kind of like Guantanamo Bay, except it's owned by Qarsherskiy instead of the USA, and there's no prisoners or torture there. It's just an exclave that has nothing but a military base on it, and it solely is controlled by Qarsherskiy just because it has a base there that's used. In orange, up here, we see Astara province. And not much can be said about this province, except it's where a lot of Native Americans live in mainland Qarsherskiy. In yellow, we can see the Alawite territory, which is where the Alawite religious minority lives, with a limited degree of autonomy. In green here, we see a very fragmented area. This is the Zoroastrian province of Qarsherskiy. It borders this property on the U.S. side of the border of its Woodside High School, and so many American kids sneak into the Zoroastrian province at night to see the fire temple. The Zoroastrians burn fire nonstop in the temple, and they constantly feed the fire so it never goes out, for thousands of years even. Although they haven't been here long enough to do that yet, they have had it for many years. The Zoroastrian province, like most of Qarsherskiy, is very wooded, with nomadic tribes in tents and people living in log cabins. This is a reoccurring theme with many of Qarsherskiy's provinces. In this pinkish shade here, we can see Lake Aiden County, home to Newport News Radio Control Club, also known as Qarsherskiy Islamic International Airport, an airport shared with the USA and Qarsherskiy, used for spy drones and remote control planes for hobbies and military purpose. And you can also see Lake Aiden's east and west basin, which gives Lake Aiden County its name. The east basin is populated by Sunni Muslims, while the west basin has more Ibadi Muslims. It's separated by a dirt road that's built on a little causeway, separating the lake in two. Finally, you can see Khandari Bas province, one of the largest provinces in mainland Qarsherskiy, and it is connected to a series of trade routes in the woods across the American border called the Haria Tolbak trade routes, which give Qarsherskiy access to the Harwoods Mill Reservoir, which is connected to the ocean by the Pocosin River, as well as connecting Qarsherskiy to this reservoir here in Newport News Park, which is also connected to the ocean by the Warwick River, which flows into the James, which meets the Atlantic Ocean. So there you go, guys. This is the geography of the mainland of the Islamic Sultanate of Qarsherskiy.